So one of the things that I help my clients with when they want to peacefully move on is to really allow them to feel their emotions to their entirety. And, there's a lot of benefits to this. And one of the things that are beneficial is it really, our emotions are truly just signals, right? When you can allow yourself to think of emotions simply as signals that our subconscious is trying to send us, and messages that we need to be paying attention to, and allowing yourself to just notice the emotions instead of being really absorbed or completely absorbed with it, and allowing emotions to pass and go through their natural process of waves, right? Because no emotion is permanent. When we allow ourselves to really embody this, then it's pretty much game changing for how we can move on. And one of the things that I personally use that has been really successful in allowing me to feel my emotions without numbing them is music. Music is very interesting because it really allows us to connect with the singer, the band, or whoever is singing it, and it allows us to tap into that connection with that song, and the lyrics or the melody or whatever it is that we connect to with that particular song. And of course, one of the very popular songs right now that's out is Miley Cyrus's Flowers song, right? And so this is very interesting because over the weekend, I just did yoga teacher training, and there was this thought that that came into my mind, right? Because as I was doing the yoga teacher training, I actually ended up booking a oops a an Airbnb just so I can go through the whole weekend, because it was like a 3-day long process. And so during that time, and I booked the B&B, that was actually the first time I booked that B&B for, I don't know, for the longest time since traveling. The last time I traveled was with my ex-partner, right? And so that was the first time that I actually booked a B&B by myself. And so that was very triggering. Not gonna lie, that was very triggering. And there were thoughts that came up of like really fears of being alone, right? I wanted to book that B&B because I wanted to see how I did being by myself, because my future plans include traveling. So I was like, let's just do this, right? Let's just see how you do, see what it feels like, especially in a city where I felt safe. And then I had friends and family that were close by just in case, right? So, as I was thinking about this fear, that this terrifying fear of me being alone, like what if someone, goes into my room and either steals shit or tries to do something that's not nice. Like your mind just goes there sometimes, right? And so as I was thinking this, right, the song of Miley Cyrus just kind of comes in my mind. And the chorus goes, I can buy myself flowers, right? Write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours. And that's a very empowering song. The first time I heard it, I actually really loved that song, right? But it's funny how our brain works, right? Like when you have all of these fears that are extremely valid, it comes to kind of just tries to save the show by putting in some positive, like toxic positivity stuff, right? And say, girl, you're independent, you can do it, which is also true. But at the same time, that fear of me being alone was extremely valid. And at that time, a few days ago, I hadn't fully processed that fear of being alone, traveling by myself, and regaining this independence and regaining like life without the other partner, right? And just really immersing being by myself. There were a lot of fears around that I haven't fully processed yet. And so as I heard this song, all of these emotions came up, right? All of these like random, they're not really random. All of these emotions came up that I had to work past. And really and truly the fear, the story that I told myself as to why I feared being by myself was because, well, my ex is a tall man with very big muscles, and I felt very safe with him, right? He's someone who I would feel safe, even now that we're no longer together. If we were, just within the same room, I would trust him, right? Like I would just trust him physically. But at the same time, it's like, well, now I no longer have that person who I can trust would be physically be there for me. Now I have to start trusting myself. And when that hit me, like when that realization hit me that, oh shit, now I really have to trust myself more. I really have to listen to my gut now, because I have to be cautious now. If I am traveling by myself, there's some extra things that I need to learn about and need to do and need to be more cautious about, that I didn't think of back then when we were both traveling. So when I realized the actual problem was not because I was in a B&B and I was by myself. The actual problem was that I didn't trust myself, right? I didn't trust myself in being able to figure it out. If someone were to come and steal shit, right? Like I didn't trust myself to be able to deal with that back then. And working through the actual root problem is, of course, what I help with my clients. And that's the thing that I get to walk the talk, right? I get to really look at this very uncomfortable thing. And so when I did, I was able to go through the process that I help my clients with, and really being able to find out if there's any, cognitive validity, first off, in that belief that I don't trust myself. It went through all of that and actually realized that I do trust myself more than I actually give myself credit for, right? And that was also very relieving. It helped me gain some clarity that the work of trusting myself is working, and at the same time the work of just being able to lean in and tell myself a different story, and how I can really embody this new trust, and my intuition just allowing me to allowing my intuition to guide me, was what I was trying to say. And this clarity, this breakthrough was really amazing, because I did some things that made me not trust myself anymore, right? Like I didn't listen to it for a long time. I ignored it. I ignored the signs. I didn't follow through the things that I said before. And because I did that, the old story was like, you just don't trust yourself, right? And now being able to sit down and actually gain clarity, because thoughts are just running all over the place, right? And once I actually sat down, got into my body and gained clarity as to what was really true deep down, at a cellular level, that's when I was able to really gain that clarity of, yes, I do trust myself, in being able to figure things out. That story of, relying on someone else, that story of being too scared of traveling, that was just a self-protective mechanism, which is very important, but at the same time was holding me back from really just surrendering and leaning in to what needs to happen, right? And so with that clarity, going through that cognitive process, and also tuning into my body physiologically, and tuning into my nervous system and where my emotions were at, and where my nervous system was at, I was able to really just root down and find the internal safety within me. And just by that process alone, that whole process probably took maybe 20 minutes, then I was able to shift that old pattern and really gain clarity that belief is no longer there of, I need someone else to travel with me to keep me safe all the time. That belief has now shifted and is now replaced with, I can figure things out. I'm going to be okay if shit were to happen, which it probably will, because that's just life, right? Then that is going to, that I can figure it out, right? Like I'm smart enough to figure it out. I'm smart enough to ask for help if I need to. I can put my pride down and ask for help if I need to, when I do travel in the future, right? And so just being able to prove myself that, and really tuning into my body and seeing what it says, and soothing it and allowing it to calm down, has been really, transformational, because it is through cultivating my inner safety is really what will help me moving forward into doing the things that I need to do, stepping into, uncomfortable things, taking the leap, putting myself out there. This is the internal safety that I need. And so by being able to follow that bouncing dot of a trigger, which is music, right? music, hearing Miley Cyrus's song and having a very different interpretation and perception on it, into all the way down learning to trust myself. To me, that's just like it, at first it kind of doesn't make sense, but it makes complete sense at the same time. And it's really just amazing how really complex our minds and bodies work in its attempt to try to protect us, right? And sometimes it tries to protect us in ways that may not be for our best interest in towards growth. But just wanted to share this with you, obviously, because it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see things from this perspective. It's very interesting to find different ways and really just allow yourself to go through the different thought patterns. I mean, this made sense to me. Did it make sense to you? I don't know if it did. Let me know if it didn't, so I can explain better. And just wanted to share this with you, because one of the things that has really helped is just listening to music and listening to it to help you process the emotion, so that that connection with the music, or whatever it is that you're perceiving the music is whatever your perception of the music is going to help you internalize also what you're feeling inside, so you can process your emotions the way that artists process their emotions, which is a completely beautiful thing, right? So that's it for today, and I will see you soon.